Ever since I learned of this place's existence here, I have been wanting to go here. We're gonna go see a museum. This is in Ålesund, Norway, and it's called Sunnmøre Museum. And they have buildings and boats and all kinds of stuff.
It was a meeting house for a congregation.
This building was a schoolhouse in the 1800s. I believe this was an attempt to help push education in the country. And this one we can go in and look around. Alphabet per se, is it?
Like
That
two syllables?
Phonics, perhaps?
yeah, it's probably fun.
Okay.
Double consonants. There's a map of Europe that's guaranteed to be wrong by at this point.
Yung test sa elementary sa amin, ganyan pa rin gamit.
Here's an old building. It doesn't have a plaque to tell us exactly what it is, but I'm assuming it's a barn of some sort, because it very much looks like a barn.
I'm kind of curious to see what you'll find here. Sometimes underneath the barns you have what's called a møkkakjeller, which is
So it would fall through the slats,
yeah,
and you
yeah,
would scoop it out?
Yeah, but this doesn't have it.
I think you should probably get to me.
These are tiny little pine cone looking trees, but they grow on a deciduous tree. So I don't know what they are.
This insulates well though.
Uh-huh. It's a common semi-waterproof building material in a lot of places in the world.
1700s with an extension from the 1860s. These grass roofs that
Uh-huh.
you wouldn't see much in the 1800s.
Okay, that went away then.
Yeah.
I think the door's open so we can see in. It's got a second floor, so.
They would use wood stoves before electric. So that's where you would be cooking.
That's different.
Yeah, you would pull this out and the bed would extend. So the houses were small and a way to save space was to be able to push the bed in at night. What would you call this, a hearth?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
May ganito kami dati sa probinsya, sa bahay ng lolo. Tapos dito kami magluluto ng mga
I feel like this part should be blocked off. Considering I can't get it.
Tapos may usok yung sinaing.
The royal family, so that would be King Håkon and that's Crown Prince Olaf, who was the king when I was young. This would probably be in the 20s or 30s.
Okay.
So is he the one that had to evade the Germans?
Yes, so these two were hiding that birch in Molde.
I'm at a museum, but the farmer in me wants to examine the tractor, and I see they have a different style hitch. I've never seen this before. It's like a triangle thing that has this hook that is what latches it and unlatches it. So it slides over and then catches. One of the implements is over here, and this slides inside of the bars on that slide inside and then snap in right there with that hook. So they have the cow stalls, and I guess this would be for calves, I suppose. We could remove it to let them in and out. They can stick their head out of here and eat.
I still have a little milking stool there.
Are we going now?
This cool wooden shovel, I'm sure, used for shoveling manure. So this would be Timothy's job. we lived here. There are a ton of tourists going through here today. In Norway, it's common for most things to be closed on Sunday. Most grocery stores are closed, malls closed, etc., to give people time with family and time to do things like this. This is a smokehouse.
Pretty big, you know.
It says this was also a workshop used for various things. They did smoking in here. So this is a stabur, which is a storage house. This is where they would store the various food, grain, meat, fish, etc. It's up on stilts so that the animals can't get in, the moisture doesn't get in. This kind of thing is common in a lot of places in the world where you have a small peg and then a flat rock or something on top, and that keeps rodents out because the rodents come up here and they can't get around this lip to get up into the building. It's really very well made. The craftsmanship that went into this is pretty extensive.
Would hang meats in here, store preservatives. I mean, we didn't really have all that much access to sugar or preservatives back then, so salting and drying. And we have a saying in Norway that the Christmas lasts until Easter, which most people today think is about, like, the party goes on until Easter. But the original meaning of that was the opposite. That remember the winter, the food you have, it has to last until Easter. So you gotta stop the party at some point. You'll run out of food.
Starve to death. We have a few where Missouri.
1860. So this is 50 years older than our house.
So they've got a spinning wheel and everything over there. My mom would love that. And then over here they've got a loom for making cloth. That's a lathe right there, a wood lathe.
Oh yeah. Central parts as well as some parts.
Or else it's just to open to let ventilation.
I suppose it would be closed one way, lift it up, turn it sideways.
Mm-hmm. It seems like it probably should be left closed so it doesn't rain into it.
Yeah.
Stairs/ladders. It's a little bedroom place. It's got the stovepipe coming up through a metal sheet into the chimney. These appear to be wooden soled. This is leather here. This is a little more modern than a lot of things. A cook stove. You can open it and add wood and stuff. What would you put in there?
You can put cheese or, well, anything really. It's like the Tupperware of the post-medieval times. So, yeah, you would pull out this and take the lid off. It's not hermetically sealed or anything, but it's, yeah, you can probably lift it like this.
Just kind of a mini barrel.
Yeah, it is.
With a lid.
It's kind of a national symbol of food culture here. The main dairy manufacturer in Norway has that as its logo and its name, actually.
What is the name of that again?
Tine.
Tina.
You'll see it on the milk cartons. I think it's for carrying water.
It's a yoke for carrying buckets of water or something. Oh yeah, we had one of those when I was a kid, actually. We never used it, it was just decoration. We wanted to buy a European or Norwegian style waffle maker at the store, but it's our voltage is 110, here it's 220, but these don't require voltage.
So for a few hundred years, this is how you would prepare food in Norway. You would hang a pot or a dish from that rod, which doubles as a vent. You can lift the rod to open up the ceiling so the smoke comes out. And then you would have a fire right in the middle of the room.
Ouch.
Ouch. And this is their beautiful welcome mat. Just a bunch of sticks bundled together. In this case it has wire, but I'm sure they wouldn't have used wire. But that's kind of a practical, nifty thing. I guess the women then didn't like the men tracking dirt into the house either.
Yeah. To be fair, that's a pretty difficult floor to wash.
Took a lot of scrubbing to get that. This is where the mother-in-law. Again, they must have been shorter.
Yeah.
Design in multiple houses now. I wonder. I mean,
Nah, it's nailed shut.
yeah. Don't you think with a wick?
Yeah.
Liquid oil.
You would put like fish oil or whale oil, I suppose, later. It was mostly marine oil that was used for candles, and not those. Those are modern tea candles.
So now we're going to go down to the medieval part of it. To be honest, this is the part that I'm most excited about. Older stuff. Is the ticket good for here and the boats as well? Everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here and museum.
Okay. Can we have 2 adults, please? Thank you. The tickets to get into the museum part, the paid part of it, they're about $9 a piece. About $20 for a family. This ticket is good for all of the paid museum parts here. So this is the medieval portion, so let's see what's here. I believe this portion of the museum is actually about a city or town named Borgund, telling about life during the medieval portion. So these are, I believe, dried cod. This is a common way to preserve fish. They split it, but leave the skin on, take the head off and the guts and gills out, salt it usually, and hang it up to dry. We don't have Per Arne with us this time. It's just the 2 of us, and I wish he was here because he seemed to be very knowledgeable about a lot of this stuff, and he can fill in a lot of the blanks that I miss. Not to mention he can read Norwegian, which most of this is in. They have this cool projection showing the layout and the location of Borgund. This was the location of this town that is now gone. This is Borgund, and this is the museum where we're in right now. This is probably the foot off of a storehouse support. Okay, I gotta break out Google Translate. This is Google Translate app, and it's been really helpful here in Norway. You can enter text, or you can click the camera mode. Arrowhead tips from different eras. Looks like some fishing implements, weights with line and hooks. Even got like a crude barb on the end. That's kind of interesting. So I'm guessing by the little monk standing there that this is a monastery or a church or something. Actually, I wonder if this is the church standing on the hill. Sculptures of Jesus and Mary, I'm assuming from the church. A bunch of relics and stuff that they've found through excavations. It's interesting how intricate a lot of this is. It took some serious attention to detail. They've even got a little bitty sword, and I'm guessing that's a sheath for the sword. I don't know.
No, it's not.
Oh, that's a... I bet it's a clasp for a cloak or something. And then a comb. Every lady needs a comb. Maybe the Viking men used it to comb out their beards. Coins found on Borgund. Norwegian white prig. Pottery and some... I think those are probably grinding stones for grinding grain. Lots of leather scraps. Must have been the footwear that they wore, the shoes. I'm guessing these, oh yeah, these are part of a drop spindle for spinning wool to make fabric. They've got a little mini recreation of a house that you can see inside of. That's exactly what it is. And then must have been the clothing that they would wear. Notice they are dressed pretty heavily. That way they don't get cold. And this tells us that the town disappears. It's a bit of a mystery, apparently, but they think that the Black Death and then epidemics killed a lot of the people, and then the climate turned colder, so fishing was harder. The people moved elsewhere or died. We're done here touring this little village of Borgund. This is a pretty interesting part. Now we're going to go see the Viking boats.